Hello everyone and welcome, I'm Beastly Eel, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the latest episode of Daredevil Born Again. In this episode we're going to be talking about everything that's happened and where we're expecting the last two episodes to kind of bring us towards the end of this season. So this one, how do I want to describe this? I'm going to do Daredevil's part and then I'm going to do Kingpin's part and they will all kind of come together. So we'll do Daredevil first. So Matt and his former cop investigator kind of have an argument in the beginning of the episode where he's kind of like telling Matt, I told you this to not get involved, and yet you got involved. And he's like, when you were a cop, you really asked for Daredevil's help a lot. So I don't really think you're the best judge of character when it comes to this kind of stuff. So he's finally like, you know what, Matt, if you want to ruin your life, then ruin it, but I'm not going to get involved in it anymore. The one thing I do have to say though is he keeps Matt's secret with his partner um, in the law firm, and although the partner is not thrilled with the idea that Matt has a secret with the investigator that she is not aware of, which is a huge issue that she has with the whole thing. But we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. So we then have Matt finding out. He goes to the hospital to see um, White Tiger's niece to kind of figure out exactly kind of what's going on. Um, she wakes up. She kind of explains what happened. That obviously Muse was there. He kidnapped her. He was then draining her blood, and then Daredevil came and saved her. So then he was asking her specific questions about kind of what was going on. So she stated that there was, he was doing a lot of paintings, and so Matt was kind of asking a lot of questions in the sense of like, was it more artwork? Was it more graffiti? What was it specifically? And she said it was of somebody's face. So Matt then decides to dress up as Daredevil to go sneak into the crime scene. He gets into it, figures out that the Muse's next target is going to be his girlfriend, aka the psychologist. So during this time, we find out that the guy that she was seeing as a client is Muse, due to his taekwondo skills, plus his artistry and the fact that his family just did not treat him well enough. Because I argue on the sense of it doesn't sound like stereotypical abuse, but that being said, he definitely felt wrong about it. She then tries to run away. He knocks her out. He then cuts her open and begins to use her blood or get ready to use her blood for artwork. And that's when Daredevil. Well, first he hears the police sirens, and that's when Daredevil comes in, starts beating him up, does a lot of damage to Muse. I mean, to the point where he literally shoots his baton out with the grappling hook and goes right through the guy's shoulder, pulls him down, causes a lot of blood splatter onto the canvas, to the point where the doctor escapes, to the point where she grabs her gun and shoots and kills Muse. Daredevil tries to save his girlfriend, however, he has to get out of there before the task force shows up. So he runs out of there. So the episode ends with, or at least on this side, with Matt being in the hospital with his girlfriend, who is now sort of kind of waking up. So then we have Kingpin's side. So Kingpin is obviously getting more information from the detectives. Specifically, this time he is getting information from the Asian detective who was part of the St. Patty's Day episode. So she explains that her and another one went through the whole place, and she thinks she has figured out who Muse is. She says the guy's name. He's been the only one that they've not been able to contact. He was an expert in Taekwondo. In fact, to the point where his master, like his trainer, actually was killed on his parents' property, and it was unknown of the cause of death just because of the severity of it and unclearness of exactly what was happening at the time. So she then states that one of the things that they're aware of is the fact that he has therapy with this particular doctor, who happens to be the same therapist that Kingpin and Vanessa go to. So while this is going on, Luca tries to infiltrate, tries to speak with Vanessa, who basically is, he's stating to her, like, I know you hate this. I know you don't understand why your husband's doing what he's doing. And she's like, I really don't have to speak for him anyway. And he's kind of just like, we need to get rid of him. And she's like, you asking for my permission or asking for my help? And he's like, why not both? And so it's kind of left ambiguous in the sense of like whether or not she's going to help him or not. So move on further. He then tells his task force to hunt down Muse. So they all go to the psychiatrist's office. By the time they get upstairs, however, and they notice that the window's broken as well. They get there and Muse is already dead. The doctor was taken to the hospital, and they explain it to Kingpin. And Kingpin's like, well, realistically, what we're going to tell people is the fact that you guys came in and took care of Muse, and the fact that this was the big issue that happened, and Daredevil was nowhere near this situation. And we will not be talking about Daredevil whatsoever. And it makes it seem like everyone's kind of in an agreement of this at this time. Um, and it seems that everyone's kind of aware that the importance of this whole thing is the fact that Kingpin wants it so vigilantes are not the reason for Muse being taken down. So then they have a press conference that really demonstrates the fact that it was the task force that saved the day, and they hold up Muse's mask to show that they have taken him out. Everyone cheers, blah blah blah. So then we have Luca who texts I'm sorry, Vanessa texts Luca who explains to him where Wilson is. So Luca then goes to find Wilson, who is supposedly by himself, and he's going to kill him. While that happens, Wilson's number two comes out and shoots Luca in the head, and it ends with Wilson saying, "We got to clean that up, and then why don't you ask my wife if she wants any takeout?" And that's how the episode ends. So it's one of those things where it's like I'm under the impression that Vanessa was aware of what's going on and the two of them are working together. However, there is that slight little moment where it could potentially be that she's actually trying to get rid of her husband, and in actuality, it does not work. But we'll have to wait to see for the next two episodes. So this one, I'm not going to lie to you. I had said it to a friend of mine. This was a little bit disappointing, mostly due to the fact that Muse had died. One of my biggest issues that I've had has been the death of a lot of villains, and this being one of them. The Muse could have been a decent character that could have lasted for a little bit longer, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, there's only two episodes left. I'm not quite sure where we're going. I mean, obviously, it's going to be the Task Force versus Daredevil, I'm assuming, but we'll have to wait and see to know for sure. But other than that, I'm not quite sure where it could go because I thought it was going to be a big, huge build up with Muse, and Muse was only two episodes long, so I'm not quite positive what's happening there. But let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you not? And why? And as always, if you like the content you see, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eel signing out. Have a wonderful night. Bye bye.